Howdy all, second video of the day. So obviously I've just done the innocent until proven guilty video. And this is just an aside, because I was doing a bunch of stuff on my bike yesterday and I ended up going out. You know that thing, so I'm just on the side, right? You know when you get a bunch of stuff for your car, your motorbike, whatever your hobby is, right? And so you strip the parts down, you put all the new bits in, make sure everything works, and then you run it and it runs fine. And then the next time you go to run it, it's not running fine, and you're like, is this something that I've done, even though, you know, anything that you'd disturbed wouldn't affect the actual running of it, right? So anyway, I found myself, I thought, well, it's all back together, it's not doing anything that untoward, but I need to know what it's doing. So I'll take the risk and I'll ride it to the nearest town where they sell like antifreeze and coolant and that sort of stuff, right? Basically what had happened is I think it could be the thermostat. I haven't actually investigated as yet. It's just one of those, I'll just bosh it back together or I'll deal with it later. I think it's either the thermostat or the water pump that have gone on the bike. And I was just like, you know what, I'll ride it there, whatever. As I got to the local town, which I don't frequent a great deal unless I absolutely have to give you guys an idea, I would rather travel 15-20 miles out in the opposite direction rather than go 8 miles to the nearest town where they have the same similar shop, right? That's what I think of that town. Anyway, as I was sat in traffic, I was just on my motorcycle waiting for the light to turn green. I sort of look around and I saw my first Tate tot in the flesh. I looked over and I saw this bald head, and I saw this leather jacket and these trousers, and the guy was walking about in a certain way, and I'm thinking, you look a bit familiar, don't you? Yeah, you look like Mr. Tate. Andrew Tate, to be precise. And I'm looking at this skinny little dude, and he's got his other two little mates with him, and they're just walking down, minding their own business, doing whatever. But he's got his swagger on and all that, right? And he's walking about, and it was just one of them moments. It's just like, my God, like, is this problem bigger than what we think it is? Like, I don't know. The thing is, right, the way I see Andrew Tate is positive and negative. And this is regardless of any accusations that were thrown his way, you know, and all of that. The thing is, what kind of upsets me about the scenario is people needing to be like someone else in order to get some sort of validation or feel good about themselves, right? That guy that was walking down that road with his mates, he's not comfortable in his own skin, right? He's looking up to someone like Andrew Tate. And like I said, I haven't got personal beef with Andrew Tate, so I don't know the guy. All I know is what I've seen on YouTube, and I've made up my own sort of mind about it. I could be totally incorrect as well. That's why I generally tend to be a bit wary of these scenarios. But to see a young lad who was the spitting image, just a much smaller frame. Like, the guy wasn't 6'4". He wasn't built like a brick shithouse, right? He was just a skinny little dude wearing Tate clothes and a similar beard, and he shaved his head. And he's got his swagger on while he's walking, right? And I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with you? You know, like, what is wrong with you being yourself? You know what I mean? Have you been put in such a situation by your environment or your surroundings or the people you hang out with that you need to look up and try and be like someone that you're not? To what? Feel better about yourself? To get more mates, maybe? You know, and it's like, that's what does me in. This whole thing of people needing an identity instead of accepting that they are who they are. You know, they're looking up to celebrities. Well, I suppose he wasn't a celebrity up until recently. Well, more so up until recently. But still, and you know, so it begs the question. It's like, well, is this young lad also going as far as, you know, doing all the courses? Is he paying Andrew Tate's, you know, living living expenses, you know, for whatever it costs for the course, and then he's going to sit down, I'd imagine, and study everything really hard, and oh, if I could just be like Andrew Tate. And, you know, realistically, it takes away from the individual. That's the fact, you know. And it's that thing of like, there is a saying, but I can't remember it, but it's something to do with about flattery being the lowest form of no, imitation being the lowest form of flattery, you know, because that guy isn't Andrew Tate, but he seems to think if he dresses up and walks, talks and acts like Andrew Tate, that he'll somehow become a millionaire overnight and get all these chicks throwing themselves at him, when in reality, you know, a lot of chicks don't like Andrew Tate. That's the fact of the matter. A lot of them do, and there's also those that will say, oh yeah, they hate him, they hate him, they hate him. But you give some of them chicks like an opportunity to go to bed with the guy, and they would, absolutely, you know. Talk about women not knowing what they want, you know. Oh, I hate him, but I'm going to go to bed with him. What? Yeah, yeah. But still, like, I sort of come away thinking about all that, and I'm just sort of like, you know, whereas I get that young guys do need a decent male role model, because we haven't had anyone decent, anyone that does, you know, come about. I mean, I think to find anyone with a squeaky clean past history is going to be very difficult, you know. Like, everyone at some point has done something in their life that could potentially, like, be a bit shady towards them, right? Generally speaking, it doesn't matter whether you were 10, 11 years old and, you, I don't know, you got caught stealing sweets from a sweet shop or something stupid like that, you know. And it's not that I would, you know, I'd see that from a different couple of perspectives. If it was a family-run business and you're stealing from them, it's like you're kind of like doing bad. But if it's a big corporation that's ripping everyone off anyway, it's like, well, they kind of had it coming. So, and I'm not promoting that kind of behaviour. I'm just sort of saying it's like, you know, a multi-billion corporation can afford the loss a lot more. And, you know, we've seen this with Walmart over in the US and people just going batshit crazy, stealing shit there. But that's kind of going a little bit off topic. But my point being is, despite it still being a crime and everything, like, the moral behind it, not that that justifies it, you know, at least you're not taking food off of someone's table directly, you know, even if they've got, like, insurances in place for theft and robbery and that kind of thing. You know, both the family-owned business and the multi-billion corporation business, you know, they're covered either way, but the family will feel it more because their insurance goes up. You know, knock-on effect. Anyway, the point being is, we haven't got that many good role models, and the thing is, media are always going to find something to pick holes into, you know. Oh, well, there's this one time at, you know, false accusation camp, right? Yeah, there's one time at false accusation camp. Speaking of shit like that, actually, because I haven't finished this from the other video, there's still a few things I wanted to say. You know, perjury, lying in a court of law, I think that should come with a minimum sentence, especially where false accusations are concerned. 15 years inside, absolutely. You want to falsely accuse someone of doing something they didn't, like that? Absolutely, 15 years. This will stop this lying problem that everyone seems to have at the moment. Yeah, you start throwing people inside for lying and not being honest and, like, you know, shit like that. I think that'll solve a few problems. Not all of them, because you're always going to get those that have got nothing to lose. But and on that one, because there's another side rant that I had in another video that I made this week regarding, you know, innocent before proven guilty and everything. It's like, yeah, perjury should be 15 years, and I can't even think of that many court cases where the person making the false accusation towards a guy having committed something that he didn't do actually suffered any consequences. I mean, the guy's life is going to be ruined, right? I'm just saying, like, he's got to pick up the pieces and, you know, deperson, deplatform, whatever, financial ruin, potential for not getting employed again, and social standing out with people and all this sort of a thing can get thrown into turmoil. But anyway, let's digress back onto the Tate Tots. But this is just it now. With that, this young guy, I'm thinking, well, if he's learning all the pickup artist stuff, PUA stuff from guys like Tate and other content creators that are out there, well, he is setting himself up for failure. Whereas, yes, he's learning to play the game and, air quotes, manipulate women into getting, which is again an issue, right? Manipulating women into, potentially having some sort of relations with him. That in a lot of cases could potentially come back to bite this young lad on the arse. I'm just saying, it's almost like they're teaching the wrong stuff. These new red pill content creators. It's like they're going to do more harm than good. I'm just saying, like, just wow. But anyway, just something I wanted to talk about. Nice little short video, just under a quarter of an hour this time. So. Thoughts, comments and opinions on this one, feel free to jot them down. Have you seen any Tate or Tots lurking about the streets of your local towns? Out of pure curiosity, but I shit you not, this guy was a spitting image. He had the grey jacket, the hair, the hairstyle, bald head, beard, and he had the trousers and the shoes, and he was walking with a swag, and it's just sort of like, well, that's one person that I've seen. I don't go to that town a great deal anymore. I used to live there many years ago, but. Yeah, is this what it's coming to? Anyway, thoughts, comments and opinions, feel free to jot them down. Till the next one, stay cool, stay free. Peace out.